hit it? It's still red, is that it? Yeah. It's on. Thank you, Yechiel. Thank you, son.
And so we're gonna learn about some of the Hilchas Shabbos, the halachas of kosher and matir. And so before we do it inside, we'll give overview outside. You can split the knots into 4 different kinds of knots. There's a knot. There are knots which is Isser Deiraisa.
Oh, sure.
A knot which is.
Any more papers? We're a little.
Sure.
Okay.
Use it. So there's.
Listen.
So a kesher is there are knots which are Isser Deiraisa, which that is a knot which is meant to last forever as long as you have no intention of untying it. You have no intention of untying it. That's a knot. That's Isser Deiraisa. Then there are knots which are Asr Mid'Rabbanan. The knots which are Asr Mid'Rabbanan is any knot which is either more meant to last for more than 24 hours, or even if it's meant to last for only 24 hours, but it's a professional knot, which practically that usually means a double knot. We'll see it as a double knot or just one knot tying on one string, tying a single knot like that. Those are very strong knots which will last for a while. And those are Asr Mid'Rabbanan, even if it's not meant to last forever. So we have 2 types. If it's more than 24 hours, or it's a double knot, or one single knot, so then it's Asr Mid'Rabbanan. Which knots are actually Mutter Mid'Rabbanan? So the knot which is actually Mutter Mid'Rabbanan is the way you tie your shoes. You do one knot and a bow on top of it with the aniva.
If you leave it,
and that's only that's also only if you're going to undo it within 24 hours.
Okay.
So the
knots.
knots.
People are leaving the shoes tied.
Right.
What about if it's meant for less than 24 hours and I don't? I mean, do I have to worry if I'm keeping it 24 hours? If it's a knot that's meant.
If you have in mind to keep it for more than 24 hours, it's also an issue.
If you got lazy and you kicked off your shoes, I don't think that's the.
You don't have to untie it.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm saying, if your original intent was like normal people, you're gonna untie your shoes and you're gonna go to bed. But
even though you didn't,
you got lazy when you were going to bed and you kicked off your shoes
that's
and
fine.
left it tied. It's not you can make a kesher shel kayama.
Right, that's not an issue. That's not an issue. And
According to the way regular people do it. If it's a tie that regular people do less than 24 hours, it's less than 24 hours.
With your shoes, that's the way it works.
right, so
It's
saying,
what general people do, not what I'm planning to do.
unless you specifically have in mind to do it for a carrot.
Okay.
Generally, you go after what generally people
You had in
do.
mind, you're gonna leave it long and then it's a kesher shel kayama for you.
So the type of kesher that's mutter, which is not considered a professional knot, is where you tie your shoes. You just make one knot and a bow on top of it. It's not considered a proper knot because it comes out in 1 second, and that's also only if it's going to be if you have in mind to have it there for less than 24 hours. And so when you tie your shoes, usually you take it off within 24 hours. You don't do it. And that's the 3rd category of knot. The 4th category of knot is there are knots which are not considered knots at all al pi halacha, and you can leave it there for as long as you want. Which knots are not considered knots al pi halacha? So if you only do one knot like this, you tie something and you only twist it once. It's a double. A double knot is you do that twice, right? So you do that twice.
Well, we're using the word knot. We should really call
Right.
it. When you just twist string twice, it's not a knot.
Right. If you just twist like that, that's not considered.
That's not okay.
Okay, so that's why al pi halacha is garnish. I'm saying.
How about a slip knot?
Oh, so that's the second one. The second, also a slip knot is also considered garnish al pi halacha. If you make a slip knot, that's also fine.
Even though if you tend to leave it.
Yeah, even if you intend to leave it, as long as you want. So since it's a knot which is meant to come out, it's not considered not al pi halacha. These are the 4 types of the four types of knots. You have knots which are Asr Mid'Rabbanan, knots which are Asr Mid'Rabbanan.
But with a slip knot is if you put something in it, then if you put, in other words,
It's not a slip knot anymore.
if you pull on it, it'll come apart. But if you stuck something in between and you could even leave it long,
Saying then it won't become undone.
then it's not it's like a kesher shel kayama.
It'll be like a shoelace that you leave
Right.
out.
It should be mid'Rabbanan.
You're asking what if you stick something
If you
inside.
put something inside it, it could become a permanent type of situation. You're holding something together.
Why is it less than a shoelace, right?
Saying I understood that saying they say that aniva is not considered a knot at all. I understood this because the knot is meant to take out of 1 second. It's not a knot which is meant to stay there. And you're asking what will be if you're doing such a ifin. I don't know. Okay.
Why does somebody do that knot for?
Sometimes you want a knot which you just need it here for a few seconds, and then you want to be able to take
But
it
if I
apart.
leave it for 24 hours, Mendel's saying it should be like a shoelace.
But
it's meant, you
that
say-
knot is not even considered. It's not
Meant
even
for
a
few
knot.
seconds. I hear what you're saying.
The issue of leaving it out for more than 4 hours if it's actually a knot, which would be a one tie with a bow on top of it. So that's considered an actual knot.
It's not a knot.
You see, one
Not
of
a
the
knot.
No, David, no. There's
One of the
another
things
issue.
is
NOT.
When you're
see,
making
this
a
falls
knot,
apart. So what
you're
I
trying
usually
to
do,
put
I
something
make
together.
one.
You make a slip knot,
One
what are
like
you
this.
trying
It's
together?
not even a knot. He said, no, you
Oh,
could
so
put
I
something
could-
in.
That's also right.
That'll be a
When
nice
you
one.
make
That's
it,
just some of the
That could
ice
be a
because
nice
it's more
one.
than
when you
24
make a knot, you make
And
it.
yeah,
I tie my shoe to hold my shoe in place. I make
No,
a
not
slip
24
knot,
hours.
maybe to
It's
hold
forever.
something
It's
from
gonna
not
be there
falling.
forever. Any
Maybe I put a
kesha,
string
even
up,
if it's
put
not
something in
forever,
it, so
even
it's
if you
hanging
have
now.
for 10 years and in 10 years you're going to undo
But
it,
the
it's not
knot
necessarily
is
nice
not
since you
made.
eventually
I'm
plan
just
on
thinking,
undoing it. But
the
it's
knot
also
is
that
not
I'm
made to hold. A knot, the issue of a knot is made to hold something.
To tie a shoe, my shoe shouldn't fall off, and that's meant
Hold up to tie
that's
it
meant
back.
on one
Right.
string.
that my shoe shouldn't
one
fall
out
if I
on
was
one string.
hanging it in
If
the
you do one
air.
out with 2 strings, because that actually stays.
If I wanted to hang things up on
You're
a
not tying
slip knot,
something, you're hanging something.
I'm making sure that it doesn't fall down. The same way I make sure my shoe doesn't fall off.
No.
But he says the concept of it is meant for temporary. It's a very temporary knot. It's not
No,
meant.
but I'm saying
It's
something
meant to
else.
take apart.
I'm saying that the knot is to hold two things together. This
And so I'm
is
saying
a
it's not.
separate thing for something
It's not
else.
to hold two things together. It's to hold my shoe on my foot. That's what I'm saying. It's the same thing.
Oh,
The slip
that's
It's
what
not,
you
knot.
have to get
it's not,
into.
it's not to hold everything together.
So the
My shoe's not to hold it together too. It's to hold it on my
Hold your shoe on
foot.
your foot.
Right. So my shoe shouldn't slip off my
tying the
foot.
shoe on the foot. But I'm not tying the slip knot. I'm not tying to anything.
I hear what you're saying.
sometimes you could use a slip knot to tie something.
How?
To tie two things together.
If you put something in, then it comes to like a different thing later. Anyway,
So
Fine, it's more
3 big
temporary.
shilos that we have is first of all, how do you tie your garbage bags on Shabbos? And also, what happens if you had a double knot on your shoes and you didn't undo it before Shabbos? What do you do on Shabbos? Could you undo it? That's the second shiloh. And the third shiloh is what if your gartel gets tangled up and there's a knot on it? Can you undo it on Shabbos?
Oh, that's.
So that
or your
see-
or your
or your tzitzit.
People, when they take out the garbage, they make like a shoe knot on that, and so according to this, it's also
It's
You make
because
a
it's
shoe
more
knot
than
with two
24
bows?
hours.
Who makes a shoe knot with two bows?
No, a shoe knot meaning one tie and then a loop.
I don't do
And then
that.
And then another bow?
And
You're
then
talking about
and a
with a
loop.
drawstring, or you're talking about with
The
a
drawstring.
Drawstring. And what if
But
you,
then I mentioned that.
I don't use it.
Talking about the old-fashioned cheaper garbage bag.
That's right.
Okay.
everything is also big. That's it, showing the meat. That's it.
So let's
The
see.
whole garbage bag is
Let's go.
disposable.
Therefore,
Therefore, it's all disposable. It's nothing meant for 24 hours. It's a throwaway thing. The whole thing is throwaway.
garbage
It's
you're
not a
allowed to do
permanent
now?
thing.
okay, we'll
I'm
see.
trying, I know, but
So garbage you're allowed.
What?
David just said better. It's a graph.
We'll get into
it's
it.
a
Gap chalet, the
We'll
whole
get
Hey,
into
so
it.
the whole thing is.
it's garbage.
Pashtus
Even
is an
that.
issue. Pashtus is an issue.
I need to know bottom line. I don't need to know issues. I need to know bottom line, no issues.
So let's see. So in the first Mar Makim, where's the makar of the malach of Kesher Matir? Says the Gemara says we learn it out from the nets, and the Mishnah they had to make these nets to trap to catch the chalazon fish. So when they make the nets, you have to tie and untie things. They would have to tie the ropes. This is in the first Mar Makim. Alter Rebbe in Simchini Zayin Sifal says, "Hakesher v'hamatir heini avis meloches shekein b'mishkin hayutzidei chalazon tzidei chalazon keshin amatilim brashe sehen." The people would trap the chalazon, they would have to tie and untie the ropes on their nets. Shekora shoses asuyes kshadim kshadim, because all the nets are made out of many knots, and the hen kishri kayam, and they will last and they will last forever. Upamin shetzach lital kutim miresha zun ulahisiv alzun. And sometimes you would have to take a string off one and then put onto another one. If they needed to make it bigger or smaller, they would adjust it. Umatia mikan, upesh mikan. They would untie it from here and tie it onto there. So this is the makar what they did in the Malach and the Mishkan, Malach of Kesher and Matir. And so now, what's the gather? What's the gather of the Malach of Kesher and Matir? So that's the number 2. So the Shulchan Aruch says that HaKesher, Kesher Shel Kayama, and it's that if he gives he says two things. If it's Kesher Shel Kayama and it's a professional knot, you're chayiv. Right, whatever. Yeah. The item right now, Rashi holds that even if it's not a professional, but it's meant to last forever, it's also Issa Deraisa. Right, but if you have both of these things, it's for sure Issa Deraisa.
We're scot free.
Kegoin Kesher Hagamalim.
I don't make a myself.
For example, Kesher Hagamalim, the Kesher Sapanim, what the nas they make on the ropes for the camels or for the boats, the Kishay Ritsuis Min of the sandal. The Shekishim Haratzonim, the knots that the shoemakers would make on their shoe when they would attach the straps to the shoe. All these knots are Issa Deraisa. Avla Kisher Kesher Shel Kayam Ve'ina Meisi Uman Potter. But if you make a Kesher Kem Esam Meisi Uman, you're Potter.
Like a garbage.
Right. Like any knot we know how to make. Those that didn't go to the Boy Scouts.
A double knot. We're going to see later. A double knot could be a Meisi Uman.
How's it a myself when any little kid could do it?
So the question comes: what's the definition of a Meisi Uman? How do you define
How
a professional?
How long does it hold? I guess.
How? So the Shilta Gebeim says we're not sure what's the definition of a professional knot, and we're not sure.
Why don't we keep it simple and we use what the Shulchan Aruch said as a professional knot?
So we don't. So we don't do those kshara nowadays. I'm saying we don't have. We're not sure exactly what the definition of a kesher uman is.
Kesher Gordi. Rashi said the Gordian knots, for like on the boats. They tie up those.
What the sailors?
Huh?
The captain. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to see soon the Shilta Gebeim that Rama brings out. We're not sure what's a kesher uman, and therefore any night which is really tight, we're worried maybe it's a ma'isa uman. So those are two. So those are both a double knot, which the double knot is pretty. It gets really tight, and also just a single knot. But if
Why
it's
does
on
Shulchan
one
Aruch say the
string,
Lashon Uman? Why doesn't he just say very tight? He knows how to say that in Lashon Kodesh.
back then they knew what a kesher uman was.
No, but why didn't he just say tight? Because if a kid could make it, why is he focusing on the Uman? If a kid everyone makes double knots, even a kid, and it's tight and it lasts, he didn't have to get into the whole Uman story. It's expression, he didn't just say my Uman, he spelled out what a Uman is, which Umanim and everything. He didn't say tight. Come we and we say maybe it means tight.
It could be our double knot. It's not a proper kesher ma'isa uman, because we're not sure what it is. We're machmir for any knot that's very tight. This is what the Shilta Gebeim in the Ramah says. It's saying it could be it's not, but I'm saying some people question it, but that's how we're knowing. So this so going on weiter. So we were by the second paragraph in 3. No, we're in 2. I'm sorry, we're in 2. If it's not a professional as potter, and the kesher she'ini shel kayama, which type of knot is mutter? Kesher she'ini shel kayama, meaning it's not going to last 24 hours. The eni ma'isa uman, and it's not a professional knot. Mutter lekashrei lechatchila. That you're allowed to tie lechatchila. So the only practical knot we know, which is a knot that is going to be mutter like that, is you have one knot and a bow on top of it. So yes, we have 3 categories over here. We have the Chayim Deraisa, we have Asim Derabanan, and we have Mutter.
Spells out what's Kayama and the
Yeah. The Ramah says Veish Aimim Shekol Kesha Sheini Asil Hati Beisim Asim Mikishal Kayama. We're machmir for the shit that if it's meant to, if you're not going to do it within 24 hours.
Yeah, but it's not a Maisuman.
Right, but it says Asim Derabanan. That's why it's Asim
He
Derabanan.
says here. If it's Einik Shel Kayama, what is he's defining what's Shel Kayama, meaning that Shel Kayama means you're going to leave it for 24 hours.
It's half, you're saying.
Right.
It's half.
It's just defining
It's a
what
kesher shel kayama, but it's eine ma'isiyomen.
Yeah.
So that's midrabanan.
Yeah. So this is.
It doesn't fall into the mutlaq.
No, he's just clarifying. He gives you here. Kesher Shel Kayama. What's Shel Kayama? He explains what it is. That's all.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be mutlaq because the kesher shel kayama. It's a kesher shel kayama, but eine ma'isiyomen is also midrabanan.
Yeah. So let's get into East teaching. What are these actual knots? We said outside we didn't see it inside. Since in the third Maramakim, I'll ever discuss the actual knots. He says v'kesher echad v'aniva al gabo ainli stapik boy cloud v'kesher ma'isa uman. If you have only one knot and you make a bow on top of it, like the way you tie your shoes, Al says no suffix that it's a ma'isa uman. Umutal kasher la hatire b'chol inyan. You're allowed to tie it and untie it. Any it's completely mutter. Im einin liskayim klal. If it's not going to last, it's not meant to last at all, meaning more than 24 hours. V'im einay ela kesher echad. So that's one category. So that's the kesher that's mutter. V'im einay ela kesher echad bilvad b'lo yanivo al gabov. And if you just make one knot, meaning you just twisted it like that. That's not a kesher at all. And that you're allowed to do even if you have in mind for it to stay forever.
So just the practical application of that, what we just described now, of just the one kesher and it's Omer Skayim, if you took a garbage bag and you did that once and you pull it like very tight, so it doesn't, because it's not string, it doesn't unravel so
Biodegradable,
quickly.
it's not lasting later.
No, but it's meant to hold as long as, it's meant to hold for a long time.
It's not biodegradable.
And that's not a problem.
Right.
Okay.
It should be. Oh, one thing, you're saying filament.
You didn't do,
that's
you
only
didn't
if
do
you
a
do
second.
one.
You didn't do a second.
You see how long that lasts, that one that you're talking about. You won't even get outside.
Till the garage, right? So there's a cash to contain the garbage bag. So doing one kesher, and that will be for sure mutter. If you only pull it once and you pull it tight. So that.
You don't understand those plastic straps that you can put around and you pull it through letters and towels. We had these plastic straps. They used to come with the garbage bags. There's a hole on one side. You put the strap around.
Zip tie.
Oh, you mean
But not the metal ones, the plastic ones
It
he's
has like
talking
a
about.
V. Every time you pull it tighter.
The zip tie they're called, no?
Yeah, I think
It's not a zip, it's different kind.
but it's
Yeah,
similar.
They
same
should come
idea.
up with garbage bag of kosher l'Shabbos.
The garbage should take itself out.
So if you have the ones with this drawstring, so you could just make a slip knot on it. If you have the garbage bag with the drawstrings, so that you could just make a slip knot on it.
How could you call a disposable item a kayama? How could you call a disposable item kayama?
No, the
You
knot
see,
is the kayama.
even if it's not
The whole thing is not kayama, but the knot's going to be kayama.
Yeah, but it's oimed l'kayoma. Hello?
You don't want that opening up. do you?
Rabbi, but it's-
the place
You just wanted to get to the homeless stuff.
Without opening up.
Not
Mendel,
just
Opening up.
Mendel, the homeless. The
What you're
homeless.
saying,
Hold on,
The
wait,
homeless.
what you're saying, the place can bring up a number 6,
Thank
but it's
you.
questionable.
Okay, good. Okay, I'm always on the
So you gotta-
borderline.
yeah.
The homeless guy
No
can't
matter
say
what
house,
you do,
know,
you machal Shabbos. Let's get it right.
That's a shalom.
That's what comes out.
Tzibik Kavan, it's an Ishbik
That's for
He's
sure.
right.
So Pasha is the best way to do
And
your
late one
garbage.
day, yeah, you're always going to find a
Says
day.
it, lo
that's-
yimolet, lo
How can
yimolet.
you?
Look at it the other way. You're always Mekayim late one day. Why go find the day that you always able? Find the day that you always, you're never able.
Okay, so when you come to Beis and Shalmailo, they're going to bring all the opinions.
He's going to bring the Baditcheva with you and he's going to take care of
That's
you.
right.
That's right.
That's what he's.
So
Right.
so this is right. So tie the garbage bag. Either just make one knot or do a slip knot. That's the best way to do it. So going in the second paragraph, number 3, Alter Rebbe describes some other knots. Alter Rebbe says, "V'chol zeh v'kosher beis dvarim biyachad." This, I would say, making one knot is okay. It's not a knot at all. It's only if you're tying two ends of a string together. That's when you say one knot is nothing. Avli mosai kesher b'reish echad shel chevel beir. If you made a knot at the top of one string like this. It has a din of the double knot because it's a strong knot. It doesn't come undone, and that's taka usher. If you leave it like you
Isn't
said,
that a slip knot? So isn't that a
this is
slip
not a
knot?
slip knot.
No,
What is that?
that's not. If you pull
A
on
slip
it,
knot is the
it
aniva.
tightens up.
What's this over here? What's that?
He showed you. He's showing you.
That's this a
So
regular
the one he
knot.
a regular
described-
knot.
The
Like
one
this.
he described on the siddur.
Oh,
If you throw out a half a garbage bag and you tie it together and you make it into a long string and you make one big knot,
Yeah.
that's a problem.
Like Risa,
Fill your bag full.
right? Risa of the bookmark, the bookmarks in the siddur. If you want to tie in order that the thread shouldn't open up, that could be a siddur isom. Because it's going to stay there. You don't find ever undoing it. So these are the types of knots. However, there's one important thing is a lot of their chivas from the shiva of the Nishchaya Apolim and also Machzil Yon. They get into a shayla about a lot of ladies when they put on their tichel, they would make that they would do double knots in order that it should stay tighter, or they were for a certain belt you have to do double knots. So so they have tights. The shayla is what are you supposed to do for them? So a lot of people, some people are melamed. So some people are melamed schus that the whole isser. When do we say that a double knot is considered professional knot? That's only if you really pull it tight. But if you make a double knot and you don't pull it tight, you leave it loose. That's not if you leave it loose, you don't pull it tight. So you don't. They say you don't have to worry. That's a
So with a
professional
pistol,
knot.
you're not going to be pulling it tight because you want to be able to take it apart.
And it's not there the whole time either.
It's satin anyway.
Right, but it doesn't matter. Kesher a professional knot, is also even if
Either
you're going
or.
to take it off 2
Kesher-
seconds
Right,
later.
but
So he's
That's
saying
a
because it's not
professional- that's a
intended to
professional
make it too tight because then you won't be
that's a
able to
professional knot. What they do?
What's
It's
a double- it's a double knot.
It's a double knot. End of story. That's
If they make a double knot, according to those that call it a keshel kayama, you might have a problem. So if you make it loose,
so what is this based off? It's based off the Magen Avram and the Shulta Gebein in the 5th Magen. The Magen Avram says, he says the inon bikin. Actually, I'm sorry, we didn't do that on Mo. Right, we skipped it. We'll go back to it in a second. The Magen Avram says the inon bikin. Umihu nira miloshen arif shehu kesher shekoshin esei hadak heitev. He says, what is, even though we're not sure what this kesher uman is, he said, but it seems that it's a knot which you tie really tight. So based on this, a lot of Achaim write that if you're not tying it very tight, you leave it loose. So then there's no isser.
that's how I do my garbage bags.
So yeah, so you leave it. You don't if it's loose and it'll and it'll eventually it'll.
I can't do the garbage bag Shabbos. Shabbos I can't take out the garbage. Okay, so that's a good eitzah to do it loose.
So
But that's only the matter for the ladies.
Hmm?
He's saying the only matter for the ladies. How about for the men to do the garbage bags?
There's
It would apply to anything if you're not tightening it.
if it's tacky loose, if it's tacky not tight, it'll. So let's go back. We skipped the Ramah. The Ramah talks about this that we're not sure which knot is a tight knot. In the 4th Marim, the Ramah says, so his opinion says he shouldn't undo any double knot. We're not sure what's a big kesher uman. And then a kesher uman, even if it's not meant to last for a long time, it's still usher to tie it and to untie it. That's the minhag. We don't do double knots. But he gives a very important heter. He says, you could be lenient with the double knot and untie it. It says, Mikol Makim, near the Makim Tzara, Ein Lachosh. In Makim Tzara, you don't have to worry. Mutar lahatiri. It's okay to untie it. The Ein El Issa D'Rabbanan, but Makim Tzara Le Gozru. It's only Issa D'Rabbanan. So this is an important heter. What I've been saying,
Only
if you
to untie.
to untie, yeah, he only says to untie it. Right, so that's right. So what happens? So this is I'm saying this problem. This is a common shiloh. If you if you make a double knot before Shabbos, if you forget to untie it. So it's a knot which you only intended to have for 24 hours.
By your
So
shoelaces.
Or not.
So if you can't slip off your shoe.
Chila as like a bow, right? And sometimes when you go to take it out, it unraveled, so it became a double knot. So according to this, you're allowed to undo it.
Right, that you have something else. That you have nothing. We'll see soon. The Chayalim says that in the Mishnah Berurah that a knot which was made by accident, it says it's also not. It's also not.
So you're allowed to be mater. You're saying that you're even allowed to be mater it to take it apart.
Yeah,
Okay.
What's the difference between 2 knots and 3?
2 knots and 3. Well, it's for sure. Also, you're asking if you're going to get another chiyuv. Is there another isser if you added a third one?
מצד הדין.
You want to.
מצד קשר של חיוב.
2 is already shel kayama. If you add a third one, I'm saying it's already good. 2 is already also. What's the third one
I
gonna?
gotta look up the line and check the knots. All I got was 6
So-
garbage.
The Chavasir says, what's the gather tsar? So he says, gather tsar is you tied your clothes on. You're not gonna be able to take them off. You're gonna have to sleep with your clothes. He says that's tsar. I wrote it in the small print, the Segraim, in the 4th Ma'amakim. Chazir says, "V'nei leader Rama Ma'idi Shabbatei Sheikli Yavnei Niksher." That his belt or his pants was tied. Yeah, he made a double knot on his pants. And she'imli naturally tzarich lishkev behem lo Shabbos. And if you don't let him to undo it, he's gonna have to sleep in his clothes.
I mean, you put it on
If they
before
have
Shabbos.
late tzar gadol.
You put it on before Shabbos, and now you want to open it up.
Yeah. He says for sure it's going to be a tsar gadol. So he says that's
Same thing with the shoes. Same thing with the shoes.
yeah, same thing with the shoes. It's a being that it's a double knot. So it's only a chumrah that we're not sure if it's a permanent, if it's a professional knot. And also lechatchila, it was only supposed to be there for 24 hours. Therefore, you could be lenient to untie it. Fine. So let
The next thing is the same thing the Alter Rebbe said as well.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I didn't have to bring it. Yeah, so that's the thing. That's Makadin Alter Rebbe. That one knot on one string is a kesher on, and it's also. So going on, so if you get to untie, if you usually untie your shoes within 24 hours, if you forgot, you can't take off your shoe on Shabbos without undoing it. It's okay. You can untie it. So we said with the garbage bags, so either you make a kesher echad, if that'll do anything, you can do a kesher echad, which hopefully that'll keep it in place. Or the next best option is to do a slip knot if you have one with drawstrings.
Best option.
Third option is to just do it if you have to make a double knot, just do it very loosely, not to pull it tight.
Look at me.
But I don't
Third
think
best option.
So maybe that's already great territory. Because what's
the
considered
third
loose?
best option,
It's
right?
like what's considered loose? How loose is loose?
Don't fill
That's
it so
right.
high.
The same loose like the tichel.
Tell the wife not
Yeah.
to fill it to the top. So you can loosen it and pull out.
So there's but the other people also want to be mamitzchus on people who take garbage bags. Is that the bring up the shaila? What if we say, the typical kesher, which you say is the isser because you're leaving it there for a while, is because you want the knot to be there. You make the knot and you need the knot to stay there for a while. But what about knots? You make the knots now, you're using it now, and then you throw it out. So really, you don't need it to last for more than a day. But you're not bothering to untie it. You don't care to untie it. So it doesn't matter to you.
But you do care it should last more than a day in the garbage. Even though you're throwing the whole, even though you're throwing the whole thing away,
the garbage company comes and picks it up within.
you're not putting it
24
out.
hours.
You can't do that. You can't do that on Shabbos.
I'd be happier if they came this second.
I'm not allowed.
Less than 24
I'm not
hours.
allowed to take out the garbage for them to pick up.
By us, we can't because
But in Indian, if there was a native, you would be
Let's
allowed
have everybody
to.
fair neighbor. Not the shot of a
So,
neighbor.
and you
You're
want it to
allowed
be
bring-
gone
take out-
immediately. So it's not,
You're allowed
it's
to
not
take
permanent.
Shabbos and garbage for them to pick it up.
On Shabbos?
Yeah.
why not?
Why not?
If it's not a gather of
They might take it out of schum. I don't know.
A guy could do what you do, so you're allowed to take it out. He's allowed to take it out. He took it out in a way that you're not allowed. That's no problem.
You're allowed to put mail in the mailbox for them to pick up on Shabbos.
nail is b'chal muktzah.
I invite it for you.
Garbage is also muktzah.
Not to know.
Not sure they're getting off subject, huh?
Goes under the category of the cleaning lady doing laundry for you on their own time, her own thing, or washing the floor.
Legal and cleaning lady allowed to do
Not
laundry for
laundry
you on
for you.
Shabbos.
She'll let them off the floor because she wants to do it easier. You didn't tell them to take it on Shabbos. You're putting it out because it has to go.
That's another
Then when
shayla.
you have to put it out, they could
So-
put it out. I think take it chutz l'tchum, that's not a problem.
Right, so tying. So some people in Lamad's close. If you're tying your garbage bag and that day the guy's gonna come take it out, so the shayla comes up. If you have no need for it to last longer than 24 hours, and you're throwing it and getting rid of it, it's not considered keshel shalkayom.
So you're allowed.
No, I didn't say you're allowed. It's machlekes. This is a machlekes.
want it to be
Who owns
allowed.
yes, who owns no?
What? It's nowadays achrinim. One there's shutim real disc and he brings up the shayla, 6 maramokim. He wasn't that far back. So he wasn't talking about garbage bags. He wasn't talking about garbage bags. He brings up in the 6 maramokim. He says. If when the person made a knot and he decided to leave it there forever, if it was if what if he decided to leave the knot there because he doesn't need it? So is there in such a case the name of the kshiruzu havi melacha shein sichel gufa? You say that's melacha shein sichel gufa and it's fine. The Heinrich misatzel ahatya, but in a reitz of kshiruzu, he doesn't care to untie it. It's not that he needs it. So he wants to bring a shikol raya from the Seir Lazazel when they would throw the goat down the cliff, so they would tie a string out between its horns. So he brings up the shayla. How could he tie the string on Yom Kippur? You're making a kesher, and you're not undoing it.
It does, sure.
So he wants to say that because since the fact that you don't need it, therefore it's not a kesher shalkiyama.
Or that's the way you had to do it then.
The thing is,
You think because they chose it doesn't say how you have to tie it.
yeah,
Okay.
he brings from the Gemara in the second paragraph. It says, tying the knot? I don't think tying this.
If that's part of it.
I don't know. He says I didn't look up the Gemara. He said the Tiknu Chazal He says, the Gemara in Sehimo says that Tiknu Chazal Sheikshar Gam Bein Karnal. Chamram Sakin, he should tie a string also between its horns. The Ayin Tesis Yishon Rishon. V'halei keshes eini asu la'atiru la'ilam. This night you're never going to undo it. Shahari kishem miskazer yivarin eini yerid achrav. When it falls apart, no one goes after the goat to undo the knot. Beim kain la'rambam ever kesher beim kippur mamish.
How do we know how they did the kesher then? Maybe they did it only a single tie or a slip
No,
knot
you
or a
needed to
loose
be
tie.
strong enough to schlep him down the hill with the stone, right? I mean,
Could have been no nut.
you put a stone to drag him down the hill.
There could have been no nut.
I hear you.
You take the end, you just go wind back and forth, and you come from underneath, and you never get it tighter. There's no nut at all.
Okay, I don't know. So he brings and he says, Ela al karchav kinal. The kivin shein etzerach le the kesher achakach le chashiv kesher shel kayama. Since you don't even answer, it is not considered a kesher shel kayama. He says he says he's not sure. He says ach yishneim redula aliyah had chifa roishi notik. Maybe through this, that they through pushing up the cliff, that itself caused the string to tear. So he's not sure. It's full of all this full. So he's not sure. He's not sure if this is a good raya. But a lot of places, so nowadays, a lot of places can bring up the shaila, and they bring up the shaila. If you're throwing it out, is it considered a kiyum? One of the rayas that you have for a carrot, you have it there. The sukkah ray that brings for a carrot is from there's the Gemara in Sukkah in Rashi now that it brings it down that the issue tying the lulav together. He says you can't tie together. Tying the lulav together when you take the when you tie the minim together on the lulav, so you can't make a double knot because it's a kesher shel kayama. And this is even though you're going to throw it out eventually.
That's more than 24 hours. I need it more than 24 hours.
But the Rashi doesn't say it's also because you need more than 24 hours. It says it's also because you're going to leave it there forever, even though you're going to be throwing it out. This is in the 7th of Aramakim. The Alter brings it down. There are people that are machmir. They tie the minim together with they tie it with a double knot. There should be a proper knot. On the Yom Tov, if you can't make such a knot, shahadhu kesher shel kayama, she'ini chisher shel atira ilamis. Right? It says the kesher kayama because you're never gonna tie him. So what do? They do it with a slip knot.
You want to call a mitzvah disposable?
So it's
To bring a raya from there that's the same thing as disposable. Since by lulav I can't do it, so by a garbage bag I can't do it. So stretch a little bit.
So this is the discussion that I spent kind of lakan. So I'm saying there's a limit to someone who ties a garbage bag and the garbage truck is coming that day to take it.
Good, I like schusim.
And so there's a limit schus, but it's not so precious. Ideally, it's better not to. You should
have to learn how to make a slip knot on the garbage bag. It's not so easy.
Now, 1 second. When they do like in the bakery, like the bread, the
twist ties.
If they do more than once, it's considered kesher shel kayama.
So that's a discussion. I wasn't planning. So for some people want to say it's a kesher. It's also. I was going to think maybe going into more next week.
I believe
The Rambam says
about that one.
it's based on the Rambam. The Rambam says that if you twist a bunch of strings together to form a big knot, he says that's malchut kosher and you're chayav.
But a bunch of strings, use one.
If you tie strings together, so they want to say maybe also a twist tie. You take them, you twist them
You
together.
wind it together.
You wind it together. So they bring up whatever. It's not.
Okay, sure.
I still remember when I was 11 years old in yeshiva how they taught me to open a challah bag. It's better to rip it than to untie the.
The same problem.
To untie it is the same problem as to tie it.
Well,
So they
it's
say just
clean.
rip the bag is better.
Yeah.
It's like it takes it from Rabbi Eisenbach when I was 11 years old in yeshiva. I
Yeah.
don't remember too many things.
There's another. We'll skip the 8th. We'll get to another common shayla. If your gartel gets tangled up on Shabbos, could you untangle your gartel? So the Chai Adam says that if you're not it's not the derech, if you accidentally got a permanent knot in a place where it's not the derech to make it, he says you can untie it. This is number 9. He says Mikol Makim. Besides for the fact that if it's a loose knot, there's no issue. He says Mikol Makim ima derech lasis hanivo. It's a derech you make a loop over there. Ubelei kavan and nikshar, and you accidentally or like on your shoes you accidentally made a double knot. Ubelei kavan and nikshar dina ki kesher she'asir lahatir b'chol yom. It has a din of a kesher, which it's derech to undo it every day, and it's not a kesher shel kayama. So this is yes, this is an important. Yes, this is important thing. So yes, it comes up with your gartel and your gartel and your tzitzis. Yeah, shoelaces. Yeah.
What? He said if it accidentally slipped into you're allowed to undo it.
Because it wasn't a Ma'aseh Uman. You didn't use it's by accident.
Yeah,
No,
you
but it
didn't.
became Ma'aseh Uman.
Yeah, but Umanim don't make accidental knots.
No, but the together of that knot is
Yeah, to do it.
The shaila, they also get into what happens if someone else tied your clothes, tied your thing with the knot, with the kesher shel kayama. So are you allowed to undo the knot if someone else tied it for you?
You had no right to do it.
Someone came in.
was playing a prank on you.
That's fair, they
Yeah, that's what you mean? Like such a case
I
where
don't know if it was a prank or someone tied.
What?
Yeah, I
Was
guess
it nichalei or loy nichalei? That's the question. Was he doing it for you because you wanted it, or
Even the person didn't want it.
no? That's a
The
prank.
person didn't do it. He tied a knot on one of your things for whatever reason. I'm not sure he tied some
And you didn't
clothes.
want it evidently because you want to untie it.
Tie into the chair.
Maybe some kids were getting into one of the cupboards, so he tied a knot around the handles to keep the kids out of there, and you didn't want him to do that. So could you undo it? So it gets
it's the same guy.
so it gets into
Now,
the
there's a
shaila.
little
Could
more.
someone
It was made
else?
for a Ma'aseh Uman. The first one was an accidental
It
Ma'aseh
was as far
Uman.
as you're concerned, it was betos. It wasn't your.
So the shaila.
It's one step more.
So the shaila comes up. He's not talking about Ma'aseh Uman. Ma'aseh Uman could be attacked. It would be usher because it's a kesher. It's a kesher Ma'aseh Uman. But if it's not a Ma'aseh Uman, let's say he made a loop, but he had in mind that it should let's say it for a long time. If his machshava make it usher for you. So Chai Adam says in Machlikas Hashena already. Could machshav one person be aser for someone else? This is in the 10th amount of Makim. He's talking about when you get something back from the cleaners. The cleaners they made a knot. So the cleaners could be out of mind to leave it there for a while, but you didn't want to leave it there for a while. So could his kavanah make it usher for you? So he says, Afagav in the 10th Ma'amakim, Afagav shulei kashri, even though the person himself didn't tie it, maybe the person who washed your clothes had in mind that the knot should stay there for a while. He says, nearly the mutter. He thinks it's fine. The davar atoli b'machshava ein adam iser davar she'ein shalai. Something which is totally in your machshava, your kavanah is what makes it iser. Someone else's kavanah can't be iser for you. Kamesh Gasav tasting divines perigimam and base. But then he brings the Bin Shamshin who argues, Aval Barash Perik Zayin the Kilayim Mishnah Hey Chayla Kalzeh, and he holds that after Tali b'Machshava Yochel Chaveda Le Esel Esel. He says even something about Isra which is Tali on someone else's Machshava, you could also be Isra someone else's thing. The Ini Demi Le Kesher Shalom. It's not you can't compare it. The Ini Demi Le Kesher Shalom. I'm not sure what he means with that last line.
Maybe this is different. The cleaners had a right to do it. Now you want to know if his machshava or not. But if somebody comes to my thing and does a double tie on my thing and have no right to touch it, it's not there.
So my real discussion for that far. First thing I want to say maybe the kesher by the person who washed your clothes, you didn't make a knot. But he brings to that point that you gave him a shus.
I gave him a shus. It's a little more a question. But the other one, if somebody tied my thing,
yeah, he brings up that point. They also get what about if a kid makes a knot? Does the kid have kavanah? So whatever, he's also all shilos. Whatever, this is already gray area.
it's not his. It's the same thing. The kid would be like a stranger who made a knot.
Not only
on
it's
my
not
thing.
his, but they also want to say a kid doesn't have kavanah. Off the halacha. His kavanah is
It's a
inside
das, he doesn't have a
kavanah. Yeah,
king,
you
and
need
it's not
das.
his. It's everything.
The person not itself. Who cares what it belongs to? It's not a knot. So the person who had a mind to get a real knot.
So we're
he made a real
talking.
knot.
So it's a knot, but this knot is only usher. We're talking about a type of knot which is only usher if you have it in mind to stay there for longer than 24 hours.
So the person who had a knot, this knot now was created with intention that it's
But you had no right to
but-
intend my object.
no difference. The knot is not
You
little.
had no right to
But
intend.
your
intent doesn't
kavanah, your
affect my
machshava
object.
can't be Isser. Could your machshava be Isser my thing? I didn't have that machshava. It's my
The other
object.
person untied only because he didn't have in mind to have a knot. Because his knot that he created was not a knot to Kiyama. The other person created a knot to Kiyama for him. So that is still that knot is not Kiyama knot.
It's
But
an
does he have a-
unintentional knot. By accident, if a knot happens by me, I could untie it. When you tie a knot on my thing, your das is unintentional to me. You didn't even have a right to do it, so it's no more than an unintentional
Nothing to do
knot.
with you. It's a knot that I created.
But on my object, it's unintentional. I didn't want you to do it. If it happened by accident, I'm allowed to untie it?
You did.
No. If it happened by accident.
Yes.
Let's say I made a single tie, by accident came into a double knot.
Right.
I could untie it because it's unintentional.
Correct.
My machshava wasn't happened by accident.
Correct.
When you touch my object, it's unintentional for me. Regarding my concern, it's
That's
unintentional.
this is the machlekes. Does your kavana help anything? Could your kavana make my object usher? It's not yours. Who are you to
No
come
way.
with the kavana to be
You
usher?
stole it not. You stole it, but did not.
This shaila, Rabbi Kiva Eger also brings up the shaila when it comes to shia and chazana. If you take the pot off the blech and you don't have a mind to put it back on, you're not allowed to put it back on. So what if someone else came into your house, they decided to do you some favors and they took it off without having mind to put it back on, and then you come in, hey, what are you doing? Right. So could his machshava?
Forget
But
about
his
that, but now
machshava
it's
make it
off.
also for you to
Now
put
it's
the
off.
cholent
What
back
if,
on the
what
blech?
if a pot accidentally fell off the burner? Let's just say a wind came. Could I put it back?
But you didn't put it on properly. It's
So that's different because it's already off.
You're saying it's already off. The other guy took it off.
No, there's two tonight,
Oh, he
but he
put it
didn't put
back?
it down. He didn't put it down.
Did he put it back?
He didn't put it back, but he didn't put it down.
Where is it now?
There's two issues for chazara. Say you have to mind in order to put the pot back on the blech. Say you have to have a mind to put it back, and say you didn't put it down.
But he's holding it now. It's off the pot.
Right. So if he put it down, so that'll be issue to put it back. But if he picked it up and he didn't have he had a mind to take it off for.
But it's off now when he's holding it.
But he didn't put it down. So the only issue is his kavana, right? If you take it off and you didn't put it down and you have mind to put it back, you can put it back on the blech. So the issue is he had kavana. Not
What
to-
happens if he took it off and he put it back?
Did he put it down?
It was off.
It was off.
How could he put it back? He had no kavan. He had no right to.
No, I'm saying he had kavana.
That's getting
You take it
complicated.
from him, you would put it back. You give him kavanah,
He-
put it back.
He's saying the shayla, you need to have two tonight to put it back. Say didn't put it down, and say you didn't have a kavana to leave it off. So the shayla comes up if someone else took off your cholent and he didn't have mind to put it back, he'd be aser. So Kiva Eger brings down the same achleikas between Tesis and the Rash.
We have a man.
What if he did have in mind? I'm saying, how could he have in mind on my object? He took it off.
Well,
He had in mind to put it back.
His kavana will make it any worse, right?
He has no. It went off, and he has no kavanah to put it back because he can't have kavanah in mind. Even if he
can't-
took it off and he had kavanah to put
No,
it
but the
back,
right
maybe
is
it's a problem.
his kavana can't make things worse for you. His kavana could help you,
It went off though. It went off the fire, right?
but he didn't put it down.
Now let's say he puts it back. Maybe he had no kavanah.
But if he had kavana to put it back, then there's no issue.
Let's say his kavanah doesn't affect for good or for bad. He can't have kavanah in my object, right? But apparently he took it off. That you can't change. It went off. He put it back on. Maybe it shouldn't be good because he had no right to have kavanas in my object.
But no one had an intention to leave it off. There was no kavana to
But
take
it went
it
off.
off.
Apparently it went off.
But that's fine. As long as he didn't put it down, it's not an issue that it came off. As long as he didn't put it
Now
down.
that it converts it all. Now that it converts it all, that's no problem. You off, holding, put it back in the
Exactly.
problem.
Yeah. So the shayla over here is
Why? It always has to have a kavanah to
that
put
you
it
are
back.
Right, but
Neutral's no good. And this guy's neutral this.
thing is it
Because
could
he
have
can't do yes.
it could have that you're not or that you are.
kavanah.
If you have to have in mind that you
The fact it came off.
People can take it off.
Yeah.
what else is it that
But you have to have kavanah to put it
have
back.
on
And this guy had no kavanah because
He
it
took it
wasn't
off
his.
without kavana.
So how could I eat it
Without
now?
thinking, you weren't sure.
No, he put it back. I'm saying a guy took it off, he held it, and he put it back. A stranger.
Same way it goes.
No kavanah, he had no kavanah.
Sure that you're not taking it off, putting it down.
I think the ikar is you're holding it in your
He
hand.
didn't put it, but he
I
didn't
don't
put
think
it down
that
anywhere.
shabbos
What's
is
right?
100% fucked up because you need both
You need kavanah to put it back. You have to take it off and have kavanah
If
to
you
put it
take
back.
that off,
But clearly he took it off, but his
And then
kavanah
it-
doesn't work because it's not his.
Yeah, but I'm not sure.
Maybe
And
it
his
came
plan
off.
to put it
I'm
back.
not sure
Screwed
if
up on
kavanah
it.
is mantra.
Yeah, wrap it up.
Yeah, well, and
Tie it up.
Tie it up.
Tie the knot.
What?
You're wrapping up.
Okay, so I'll make a sikkim. So I made a sikkim. Maybe it's not that complicated. I thought it might be, but whatever. I made a sikkim. The knots which are usher and mutter. In the first the three knots which are usher is a kesher gabe kesher haduk, a tight double knot, even if it's for less than 20 hours is usher. The second one is a kesher echad al chut echad, a single knot on one string that's also usher. Even less than 24 hours. And third one is a niva gabe kesher, a knot and a bow on top. That's
shoelace,
also
the longer
yeah.
the hook
It's
goes.
usher if you have in mind to leave there for more than 24 hours. Those are the three knots which are usher. Which ones are mutter? So how many did I write? 6, 7. He says so mutter is aniva gabe kesher. So a bow on top of a knot, like your shoes. If it's for less than 24 hours, is fine. Aniva levad. If it's just a bow is also okay, even if you're gonna leave it for more than 24 hours. If it's just like a slip knot.
Single,
Kesher echad being beis chutin. If you two ends you tie with only one knot, that's also okay, even if you're gonna leave it for more than 24 hours. And the fourth one you have a double knot, but it's very loose. So that's okay if it's less than 24 hours. Oh, on Shuldix with the garbage bag, that's not going to work.
Kesher.
It is less than 24 hours, because I don't need it more than 24
But
hours.
that's already coming onto the second heter.
No shabbos, you go to take a shabbos. No shabbos.
On Shuldix, I made a mistake before. I said the garbage bag, it helps to do a double knot if you leave it loose. That's not going to work because it's more than 24 hours. I
It's
forgot.
not more than 24 hours. You're using it's not more than 24 hours. Because you want it to be thrown away.
But that's coming out another heter, which isn't so clear. You need a different heter. It's not this one.
Rotating.
You don't want it opening up, that's your intention.
Right, so that's less than 24 hours.
You don't want it opening up, period.
That's right, so don't get into the 24
Buy a
hours.
bigger
Not
garbage
ever.
And fine.
I don't care after.
Fine. And number.
Garbage has to be picked up within 24 hours, that means.
I'd like it to be picked up right away.
But if it's not,
But
it's
it's,
in your
If it's
shoes.
not-
if you know it's not
It's in
being
your
picked up
shoes.
more than 24
And you want
hours.
to keep it.
Huh?
You know it's not being picked up more than 24
Yeah,
hours.
that's a
then
problem.
it's,
It's not being picked up till Monday.
Yeah, then it's
And you don't want it
Tuesday.
opening up.
right.
let's keep it either do one knot or make a bow. That's
I don't get into much like this. I give it someone else to do it.
I say fine. Next one, Vaiter lahate kesher gavi kesher. Next one is the if you have a double knot of mokin tsar. A double knot which was intended, I didn't remember write this in, which was intended, which was only supposed to last less than 24 hours, to undo it by mokin tsar, like your shoes, that's okay.
As the garbage said
It's gonna smell bad.
so this is Mokum Tzar, they consider.
No, but the header's only for less than 24 hours. We're not out here for more than 24 hours.
The tiniest child shoe, double knotted, no problem.
The what?
A disposable item is etzim less than 24
That
hours.
is the issue. That is the issue.
Why?
It's because it's a kesher kayama, it's the last thing now.
It slips, you can pull it out. You one loop it, second loop.
Yeah.
Second loop is a problem or not?
If it's
One
an
knot,
issue,
one loop.
it's
is
an
no
issue.
problem.
One knot and two
No,
loops.
You're talking
One
about
knot-
doing another, you take the two, you talked about for
Two
kids.
bows.
You take the second bow and you double knot it.
If that's tight, if you pull it tight, it'll be an issue.
Comes out just as
leave it-
easy
you have
as
to leave it
this,
loose.
huh?
What?
Whole day's coming out, don't worry.
Still comes out.
It's an issue. What's next?
Lahate kesher.
Kilahati keshu man nasa betos, but malkim sheini ragil. If there's a place where you don't usually make a double knot, and you actually need a double knot, so that's going to be.
Or somebody else made it on my thing. Shaila.
Yes, machlekes. And also we did, this is in 11. We didn't read inside b'makim mitzvah. You could be b'makim mitzvah. You could make or undo any knot which is only asur midrabanan, meaning any knot which is not meant to last for as long as it can, forever. You're allowed to b'makim mitzvah.
Tzitzis in the palace.
So either tzar or mitzvah.
Fine.
Yeah.
Alright, we're gonna leave it a minute, we're gonna
Yeah,
leave
but
it
it's-
a minute. If we
mitzvah.
don't bend
Tsar is
right
different.
away-
Tsar, we're only going to be lenient with a knot which is for
Less than 24 hours. This is even. But what does
And-
Einikaim Leila mean?
The definition of Chaim Leidim is that you have a mind to stay here. You have no intention of untying it. That's the
So
definition of Chaim Leidim.
according to that, why?
Chaim Leilam. What's Einikaim Leilam and what's 24 hours? What's less than
There's in
24
between.
hours?
There's 24
that's
hours is
all.
mutter within 24 hours. More than 24 hours is also midrabanan. If you have no, even if you
neutral.
have in mind untying it in 10 years, it's only midrabanan because it's not Chaim Leidim. If you have no intention
10
of ever
years is
untying,
Einikaim Leilam?
yeah, it's any Chaim Leidim. But if you have no intention of ever untying it, so then
Okay, so
And yeah, I stick with disposable. The nature of disposable means it's less than 24 hours.
so let's ask a question a little different.
thousands of years in the
In the landfill.
now
But the
that-
nature of it is
Now,
the whole
David-
opposite of Kesha Kayam. You can't get more opposite than
But
disposable.
now, David, listen to
but it
this.
might be still also midrabanan.
I'm sure it is.
But now, David, now listen to this. He says over here, Aniva Gabi Kasher, if it's more than 24 hours, then it's usher. Even though if it's less, it's mutter. Now, if it's a 3-day yontif, you're listening, Rabbi
You make
Binyamin.
them
A 3-day, no, a 3-day yontif. No, a 3-day yontif. Like we're gonna have through it.